this is going to be on the WWF Royal Rumble. So, you guys have heard of this game before, right? It was for the Genesis and the Super Nintendo.
Yeah.
And we're actually going to have a little gameplay that we're going to show of this while we talk about it a little bit. But they had different rosters, right, Dave?
They did.
They shared some.
They did. Since I played the Super Nintendo one, I'll tell you the Super Nintendo roster, and then you can tell us the Genesis roster, and then we'll go over the shared one. How's that sound?
Cool.
Okay, well, the Super Nintendo exclusives were Ric Flair, Mr. Perfect, Million Dollar Man Ted DiBiase, Yokozuna, and the Native American Tatanka.
Yeah, it's
Pretty
funny
solid
they got
roster.
Tatanka on there, but he actually was somewhat of a big guy for him back in the day.
He was super over at the time. He was the OG Goldberg insofar as like he was the original street guy.
So he lived about 30 minutes up the road from where I lived in Cumberland in West Virginia. And if you turned it to some certain local channels at the nighttime, it would be playing ads for his wrestling school.
That's awesome.
Yeah. But sorry. And
That's
then
really cool.
yeah,
that's a cool story.
We got the Genesis exclusive roster here, and that's Hulk Hogan, so the opposite of Flair there, IRS, Hacksaw Jim Duggan, the model Rick Martel, and then Papa Shango. Solid little roster between the two exclusive ones there.
Outside of Hogan, I think the Nintendo one has the stronger roster.
I agree with you completely, and we'll move on to the rest of the roster here. And we got Bret Hart, which there's the man right there. Undertaker.
This is a who's who of '90s wrestling, by the way.
I mean,
this quality rosters.
It makes sense that these are the guys that are on both of the games, but except one of them. But we got Bret, Undertaker, Shawn Michaels, Razor Ramon, Randy Savage, Crush. Like, what the fuck's he doing on there?
Yeah, and then, maybe we could have got like Papa Shango instead of him,
or Boulder. Why isn't it him? Right?
Yeah, I don't know.
But anyways, and then we got Lex Luger. So, but yeah, Lex is the man. He definitely deserves to be on there. He was a pretty big deal at the time. They actually have his name on there as the Narcissist.
The Narcissist Lex Luger, yeah.
Yeah.
So we got heel Lex Luger in here. Mr. Perfect was a really cool one.
Yeah.
That's awesome that he's in there.
Well, I like how when you go over the characters, it starts playing their music and everything. That was pretty cool.
Yeah, it was. This game was the precursor to WWF Raw. Also, I think it came out for Genesis as well. I know it was definitely out for Super Nintendo. Yeah. I played the shit out of it. But so this was out before that. But this game, I remember specifically. I can't tell you if it was like summer of '92 or '93, but we were in this area called Shady Hills, and played it at this kid's house every day for the whole summer. We just WWF Royal Rumble for hours. So played the shit out of this one.
See, you're a little bit older than me, so me and my friends were playing the N64 wrestling games at that point,
Hell yeah, we did those too, but we were a little older by then.
You just picked
those are the best. We'll always say those are the best wrestling games of all time, but yeah, I mean it was really cool to be able to be fucking 10 years old and you're playing your Super Nintendo and you get to
the gameplay in
the wrestlers you see on TV.
The gameplay in a lot of those games, they didn't have as many options as the N64, and so it was like tight gameplay and all that, and you get really good at them. A little bit easier, but it was harder to master. But that being said, the Super Nintendo version actually kind of had like better defined, more detailed character sprites, and it had a better looking crowd. It's considered the superior version of the game. I had clear sound samples as well. I actually played both of them, and it's definitely true.
Probably true for a lot of games. The graphics may be better, but Genesis would always have like cooler features. For some of the games, like it might be the same game. I'll use Mortal Kombat as an example, for lack of a better one at the moment. The Super Nintendo one definitely looked better, but the Genesis one had blood.
Yeah. Well, you could unlock the blood on the Super Nintendo one with a cheat, but I think it was green. I could be wrong.
It didn't look, the Genesis had the better blood, and then you'll notice when Mortal Kombat 2 came out, Super Nintendo was just like, no, go ahead and have the blood.
Well, I feel like the Genesis did have the better sports games. Sega Sports made some pretty good sports games back in the day, and the Super Nintendo had a better color palette, had more colors it could produce.
Yeah. NBA Jam was kind of my one of my favorite sports games back then.
Yeah. Overall,
He's
though,
heating up.
overall, this is a perfect time to talk about this game because we got the Royal Rumble coming up. So it's something that we wanted to, I don't know the right way to put it, just kind of gloss over here because a lot of people forget
Yeah,
about these older games, and they're here, and we encourage people to check them out.
exactly. The stars don't always align for our gaming segment and our wrestling segments to align up. So when they can, it's a cool thing. So this is one of those cool things of, hey, Royal Rumble time, Royal Rumble game.
There it is.
Next.
Check out. Hey there, everybody. Did you like this video? If you did, we got tons more like it on the OverMark YouTube channel. So what are you waiting for? Go check it out. We have our weekly podcast episodes, tons of shorts, and all of our old backlog. So just check us out. Remember, like, subscribe, and we'll see you on the next one.